Hey, how y'all doing? I just wanted to make a video on this topic because I feel like it's needed to be talked about. I want to talk about being careful on who you get advice from. Yeah, I get it. You can get advice from somebody, and that advice that you got it from, it could be a person that you love, a person you might look up to, just a person that's very close and important into your life. But just because you have a deep connection with them does not mean they're giving the best advice for you. That's just simple how it is. I think I talked about it a little bit in a previous video, but I didn't make it a whole topic because I see this a lot. I will talk about getting advice from social media later within the video, but right now I'm talking about simply getting advice from people in your everyday life. It can be your aunts and uncles, your cousins, your grandparents, your parents, your siblings, your significant other. Everybody always thinks they know what's best for your life. They always think they know better for your life than you know better for your life. They always assume that they know you better than you know yourself. They might think that you don't know any better and they do. Or just because they've been through X, Y, and Z and you've been through the X, Y, and Z, then they are fit to give you advice on X, Y, and Z. But that's not always the case. People can go through the same things and it affects people differently. So if it affects people differently, you would need different advice and you need different outcomes for it. But not always the case, but sometimes. I think it's really important to have discernment and to have trust within yourself on what you decide to do, because it's really easy to get scared on the unknown and being scared on following your dreams and deciding not to do what everybody else is doing. It's a lonely path and it can be scary because nothing is guaranteed. You don't know what's going to be the outcome of it, but you should always put confidence and faith that you know what you're doing. And if you believe in God, the universe, pray to that. Do what's best for you in the situation. It's cool to get advice because getting advice from elders is very important. And just because I have an elder in my life doesn't mean I'm going to listen to every single advice my elder has to tell me. Yes, there's wisdom that comes with age at times, but at the same time, there's things that elder probably haven't experienced, but yet they're telling you what you should do, but they don't even know everything in their shoes because they lived a different time. Not saying everything that they give you is wrong. I'm just saying they need an updated version, or the advice might not hit the same, just use your discernment. It's always important to take things with a grain of salt, but just because a person that you love and that loves you gives you advice does not mean it's right for you and you should take it. Because only you know the whole story within your life. Only you know what's actually going on behind closed doors. They don't. They only know how much you tell them. So do what you have to do. And when it comes to taking advice pertaining to social media, I truly believe just because an advice video has millions of views or thousands of likes does not mean that's advice you should take. I literally saw a TikTok today talking about no, it was a YouTube video talking about dating advice, and I clicked the video. I listened to one thing she was saying and I immediately clicked off. I'm like, girl, what is that? Just because a person is giving advice does not mean you should take it. Does not mean you should take it. Just because that video got millions of views, millions of likes, whatever, does not mean you should take it. Social media gravitates towards negativity. It's not a coincidence why most of the comments that are on the top are probably negative. I'm not saying every video, but most of the time, yeah. And honestly, I feel like people don't really take advice seriously. They just talk about it in their lens. I get it, because that's all they can talk about through their lens. But if you at least try to put their advice within your lifetime and within your life, and you realize hey, this is probably not working, how about Next time, be careful on what advice you try to pick. I feel like I'm rambling, but it's like, I feel like it's really, really important, because if a person doesn't even follow their dreams, or they don't say no to people, or they don't question authority, or they just don't overall have themselves as an individual, why take advice from them? You know, like, why take advice from somebody that has a life that you wouldn't want to trade with? Same with criticism. Like, you want to listen to a person on how to get X, Y, and Z, but yet they either don't have X, Y, and Z, or you don't want X, Y, and Z. You know, like, it's like a broke person giving you advice on how to get money. I think they need to prove that first before give advice, you know, like, be for real. Or a person that's miserable and hates their life is trying to give you advice on how to be happy. If you want to give advice, if you want to be fit to give advice, you got to fit that criteria. You got to fit what you're talking about. You got to have the things that you're trying to, like, give advice on. A person that has a miserable, abusive relationship is trying to give you advice, like relationship advice. Where does that make sense? Houseway. You know, like, if you take advice from a person's life that you would not want to trade with, then try not to take that advice. If you don't know what to do, pray on it, meditate on it, try to figure it out on your own. Put some more trust within yourself, you know? Or, like, if you get advice and it feels good within your soul, maybe you should trust it. But if you're kind of like, I don't know, then take it with a grain of salt and don't implement it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Stay beautiful, stay woke, reflection. Thanks for having time with Tatsi.